3 times, 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you, you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Being on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lot with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had gold. Brand new you on the old time road, take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach, screaming bump the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work, guess it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 2020 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't doing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom, boy, you peep these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane things. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing cane things. Living super clean. That it came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause he know he got a good thing. I submit and I cook and I clean and I never hold back on that wop, I'ma let it rain. Made me honest, I got a ring. All praises to the most high, let it sing. A real man able, sister never Cain. And I ain't going nowhere, this is not a game. Look at you, girl, you lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of men the most high. He provide and protect so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Be as help me, shout let the silly go.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord. Saints, it's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono.
1 time.
There we go. Shalom and shalom to you all. I hope you all are having a wonderful evening. Please excuse the lights spinning in the background. Sorry, y'all. I have a little ear infection. That's why I'm a little late. So if I seem to be like a little lagging, it's not the Wi-Fi. It's me. Babe, I need you to, because you can see all this over here. Can you move the camera this way a little bit, please? Thank you. Sorry. Thank you so much. Yamaya, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I was about to be sad. I thought we wasn't getting a live from the House of Monitors week. No, please forgive us. We have been working on an order. And a few orders actually. It's HBCU homecoming, so y'all know here in the A, we do the orders for Clark Atlanta, so we're doing their orders. And we have a couple other things going on. All praise to the Most High, which have been requiring my time. But have been keeping my husband busy, so that's why you haven't heard from him this week. Please charge his head and not his heart. We've been discussing it. We're trying to get things situated here. We're trying to make it happen, y'all. We sorry. Like, share, subscribe from wherever you are, Facebook, YouTube. Shout out to everybody on the IG. Like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live here at the House of Mono. Today's topic, I don't really have a lot of like filler topics and stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like straying away from doing that. You know what I mean? But the topic for today is comfort in times of darkness. And I know y'all probably feel like this is going to be a comforting message that's going to make you feel better about some things. And I hope it does make you feel better, but I don't think it's going to be the message that you think it's going to be. So, but one thing I did want to talk to y'all about, the Ebony Alert. The state of California, the governor of California just signed a bill enacting something called an Ebony Alert. Why do we need an Ebony Alert if we already have an Amber Alert? May be your question. Well, the Ebony Alert was created in response to the complaints that Black women and children do not get as much attention as white women and children when they go missing. So their solution is to create a separate alert called an Ebony Alert, which will leave no which will leave no doubt in your mind of the fact that the missing person is Black. That's what the Ebony Alert is for. So that you know without a doubt that the missing woman or child is Black. And I think this is a horrible idea. And I get how at first hearing it, some people might be like, oh, yay, that's a great idea. Now we have our own missing person alert system for Black people. Because if we're already complaining about them not looking for Black women and children at the rate that they look for white women and children, what exactly are you hoping to accomplish by making absolutely sure that now Black women and children have a separate system? Or you just want people to just not even pay attention at all? Because that's exactly what's going to happen. Because that's what's going to happen, okay? Because when you issue an Amber Alert, nobody knows. They just know it's a missing child. Oh my goodness, be on the lookout for this missing child. And this is the problem with I don't want to even say modern thinking, because this type of thing has been going on forever. Ever since we've had Black people who felt like integration was a good idea, ever since we've had Black people who rejected the idea of fighting to remain separate, you've had this type of thinking, okay? I don't understand how anyone in their right mind can support this. We already are underserved. So why would you market? And here's the thing, right? Why would you specifically ostracize Black women and children? It's not like Black people have their own police force where we can be responsible for going to look for our own. So that's not what's about to happen here. I hope y'all don't think that that's what's about to happen here. That like, oh, all of a sudden there's going to be a increased priority put on Black women and children. That's absolutely not what's about to happen. That's absolutely not what's about to happen. There's a whole movement to cancel funding for Black women owned businesses, like, you know, the extra funding that Black women owned businesses get. There's a whole like movement collaboration. Yes, sir.
Is Dad cooking today?
Yes, Daddy cooked already, honey. I'm doing a show right now. I'm live. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi.
Okay, I need to go back upstairs so I can finish.
I love you.
Okay, yeah, love you too. Atticus Phillips, everyone. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so it's not, you know, it's not like it's not like when you put out the Ebony Alert, we have a Black Panther party or anyone to go out and specifically look for this Black child. So I think this is a horrible idea. I hate it. And the thing that's scary about it is, even though it's happening in California, I heard the saying a long time ago, as California goes, so goes the nation. So if this thing is popping up in California, it may be coming to a city near you soon. So I just wanted to let y'all know it's out there. So let's just get to it. Comfort in times of darkness. And this really came from another topic, and we're going to get there. But it has occurred to me. Before we get into this, like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. It has occurred to me that a lot of us, and yes, this is, you know, the show is for women. It's directed toward women, but I'm sure that, you know, some men have probably experienced a similar issue. A lot of us find ourselves in our lifetime rejecting those things about us that seem to make us stand out from others around us. Right? I mean, how many of y'all, like, I loved reading in school, okay? But when I was in school, you know, it wasn't popular to be smart. That wasn't, you know, it wasn't in, it wasn't popular. You know, you still got bullied for being a nerd. So, you know, you kind of hid that away. But how many times have you seen that, right? Like the smart kid in school, he gets picked on, and next thing you know, he's a thug. The smart girl in school, she gets picked on, and we know how that turns out, okay? So I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about how the pressure to fit into this world causes us to hide our light under a bushel. In Matthew, I want to say it's in Matthew 5, where it talks about we're the light of the world, a city on a hill. No one lights a candle and hides it under a basket, but we do it all the time. We hide our light under a basket all the time. And what do I mean by that? When you neglect what you know is right, say you out with your girls, right? You out with your girls. And okay, I'll give you an example. For me, we were at a party. Not just one party. This happens at almost every gathering that we're at, okay? I do not twerk in public, okay? I don't. That's just my choice. My husband didn't even have to tell me that, okay? No, my husband didn't even have to tell me that, not to do that, okay? It's just something that I just don't do, right? And even though other women who were also married around me may feel like this is okay, for me, it's not a way that I want to be viewed in the public. Now, if I'm at a concert, lounge, club type situation, first of all, I'm always going to be with my husband. And yeah, I'm going to dance with him. That's something totally different. But when we're talking about like at somebody's house, like in a smaller, more intimate setting, I'm not going to do that. Okay. And I know you might be saying like, oh, as an adult, it shouldn't be an issue. And it's not, trust me, it doesn't bother me, people's opinion about me choosing to not do that in public. But I know, I know it's a topic. I know, oh, she thinks she's too good. She can't. Da, 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 da. If you think that I think that I'm too good, then that's a personal issue with you. Okay. And so I want y'all to carry this attitude throughout your different situations because it's not just stuff like that. We sometimes, especially when we are trying to live right, we will sometimes unpurposely or unknowingly offend those around us. And I know usually when you think of an offense, you think of like name calling, insults, stuff like that. But when I'm speaking of an offense, I'm speaking of when you brush someone the wrong way, right? Because say you've been hanging out with your girls and y'all's thing is every Friday you go get a couple of drinks, have a couple of slices of pizza, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but you've decided, listen, I'm trying to pull back on the drinking a little bit. So when you go out, you just go and grab you a Sprite or a Coke or whatever and enjoy your pizza. Everybody's not going to understand. And it's not for them to understand, okay? Because what we have to realize is that somebody has to be a leader. Somebody has to come along and make it a priority, so to say, because you want to think that people just understand certain things. Like you want to think that certain things are just common sense. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. And I even notice it like when I do some like posting on social media, I even notice how people seem to be elementary kind of when it comes to certain things, certain principles that some of us, especially those of us who were maybe raised in the church, kind of already seem to grasp and understand, right? Like just certain elements of like kindness, and how you treat others. Okay, these are just certain things, certain fruits of the spirit that you should be exhibiting. These are just certain things that you just kind of learn. And when you learn them, you assume that others learn them too. But that's not true, okay? So when you go about, like some of us often do, when you finally decide to go about living the way that you know that you should be living, what you need to understand is, first of all, you're not the only one that knows that what you're doing is wrong. Okay. I for the most part, when most of us are out here doing wrong, we know we out here doing wrong, right? For the most part. So you're out here doing wrong, but and here's the thing, right? Like your friends could very well be like, oh, I'm gonna stop. I don't want to live like this no more. It could be somebody else in your friend group who also feels like they are struggling with alcohol a little bit and they need to sit it down. Or even eating. Okay. Listen, some of us struggle with overeating. We're not gonna act like that's not a problem. They may be struggling with overeating or something like that, right? And if you are the first one to be like, no, I don't want to do this no more. I think we should do such and such and such and such. Quite often that will lead to ridicule among your friend group. Right? Because it's like we do this all the time. What is the problem? Why do you have a problem with what we're doing now? Oh, you think you're too good for us? Oh, you trying to be all holy, blah, blah, blah. You know the things that people say. And so a lot of times we wind up giving in. And that's what I mean when I say hiding your light. You give into the pressures of the world. You give into the pressures of what's going on around you, despite your own personal convictions, right? Because here's what we have to understand. And if you're new here, I don't want you to think that I don't want you to think that there's no mercy for learning, or, I'm just coming into this. I'm just starting to read the Bible. I'm just starting to come into the knowledge of these things. No, of course, we understand there's grace and mercy for that. But I just mean just flat out rebellion, flat out ignorance. Listen, I don't. I don't know. I don't know how to say certain things, so it takes me a while. But listen, there is such a thing as not knowing better. Okay, let's be clear about that. Some things, some people just don't know better. All right. So I'm not talking about those cases. I'm talking about stuff where you know it's wrong and you keep on doing it. Okay. And now you're trying to stop doing it, but you've been so caught up in it that you can't find your way out. Or sometimes when we're hanging around a group of friends, right, and we finally get out, we finally get to see a different way of life, and you go back to your same group of friends, but you refuse to change. Like you're going to continue to do the same things you've been continuing to do. For those of y'all that have grew up in church, you know how it is. You go to church, you hear that sermon, it seems to be right up your alley. Like the pastor was just talking about everything that is going on in your life this week. And instead of no, let me go back a step, because when you leave church, you be feeling good about it, right? You be like, yes, I'm not going to do this anymore. I am done with this. Or, you know what I'm saying? You heard a sermon on YouTube. You listened to a class. Something convicted you about something that's going on in your life right now. And at the moment that you heard it, you felt convicted about it. You felt inspired to move. You were motivated to change for whatever reason. Yanika, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me. You felt inspired when you heard that message. You was like, yes, this is for me, Lord. I repent. I'm going to make a change. But as soon as you go back to your old environment, you fall right back into that same old thing. You go right back to thugging with your rounds, okay? Sidebar. My daughter went to see Sexy Red yesterday. She go to Moby, and she was supposed to do their homecoming concert. First of all, they did it at a freaking club, okay? When most of these kids are under 21, they did it at a club, and she said they was just playing with them. They wanted to charge them $200 for a table, or they had to stand up the whole time and stuff. So they just wound up leaving. Okay, so it wasn't even all that. But anyway, but so you take this new inspiration, you take this new knowledge, and you go back to these people, and instead of you standing your ground and saying, nah, I'm not really feeling this no more, you let them talk you into doing the thing that you said that you weren't going to do anymore. Instead of you telling this man, nah, I'm not doing this with you anymore. If I'm not your wife, we're not sleeping together. If you don't have any plans on making me your wife, we're not getting married, then none of this is happening. And instead of you standing your ground because you're afraid you're going to lose him, you're afraid he's going to leave you, you just give in to the thing that you know better than to do. And see, here's the problem. When you do that, you're the one that knows better. So no one else is feeling that loss, that regret like you are. Like you're literally playing yourself and no one knows it but you. This is what happens when you hide your light. And I'm not saying that it's not hard to stand out. Yeah, it's hard. Listen, even as an adult, it's hard. Okay. I don't want y'all to sit here and think that, oh, this message is just for a single 20-year-old somethings. No, as a married wife and mother, you don't think I want a peer group? Like, you don't think that I want to socialize as well? I don't know. It doesn't happen at a certain age where you're just like, oh, it's okay. I don't ever need anybody ever again in life. No, you want to socialize. You want to have a peer group. You want to have friends. Okay. So this message isn't just for college students or single women who are dating. No, this is for my married women friends as well. I have my boys take boxing. And so I socialize with one of the moms. Me and her, we walk around and we talk and stuff like that. And like I hear stories of how women are out here just creeping on their husbands, just up and leaving their husbands and just, doing whatever they think makes them feel good. So please, like I tell y'all all the time, it's not that getting married takes away all of the problems in your life. Now you just have someone else to, shoulder the burden with. And but also you have the responsibility of being a wife. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not easy. And so like I'm when you're different from the people that you're around. And when you're starting to outgrow the people that you're around. Okay? And so I always tell my children, my daughters, I always tell them, when you feel like it's time to remove yourself from a situation, the best thing to do is to remove yourself at that exact moment. When you stay in situations longer than you are supposed to, something crazy always ends up happening. Something wild, something unexpected. There's going to be a fight. There's going to be some drama. You are the person that is going to get hurt. And I know, why me? Why me? You were the one that was told to leave. If the danger was for someone else, then someone else would have got the warning. But the fact that you were told to leave, it's like the fire drill bell going off and you sitting there like, well, why I gotta move? Hello, the warning is ringing. The warning is going off for you to move. Yes, Unika, it breaks you down when you stay. I can tell you one situation in particular that ingrained this lesson in my head. And I know clear as day when I was supposed to leave. And I didn't want to leave because it was snowing. Okay. I was in Jersey. It was snowing. I was at a party. And I felt clear as day, like as if somebody was sitting next to me, like, hey, girl, it's time to go. Like the Holy Spirit was telling me, hey, girl, it's time to go. Nah, it's snowing. I'm having a good time. I don't want to leave. Needless to say, within like the next hour or two, I regretted not leaving. Okay. And so, but that's another example of hiding your light. Like these are there are things that are gonna make you stand out. There are things that are gonna make you different, right? And I'm talking beyond the things that used to make us different. Because it used to be different if you were black and you didn't eat pork, right? Like that used to be a thing. But that's not a big deal anymore because a lot of black people don't eat pork. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. But the things that we deal with now, the decisions that we have to make now, these are the decisions that not only are going to change our life, but the life of those around us. I don't want you guys to think that just because I don't address current political issues, that I do not follow them, that I'm not aware, that I don't watch the news or that I don't want you to. I do follow the news. I'm very aware of what's going on in the world around us, okay? But for me to sit here and discuss it, I don't see, I just don't feel like that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? That's not what the Most High has called me to discuss with y'all. But also we need to realize that the condition of the world should be that warning bell for us to get ourselves together. All these wars and rumors of wars, all these rumors of bank closings, all these rumors of contamination of food. And I'm not saying it's just rumors. I'm just saying rumors in terms of widespread talk. Okay. All of these discussions that we keep having about the horrible current state that we're living in, these should be the warning bells for us to repent and get ourselves together. Because no one knows the time or the hour, but those of us who are in tune with the word, we can see the warning signs. It's just like if you walk in my house right now and you see a trail of toys all over my house, you don't know who did it. All you see is a trail of toys. You don't know where it came from, where is it going, why is this going on? But I know who did it. I know who did it because I know these people that live here. I know this person's pattern of behavior. I know what this person has done before. So I can see it and I can recognize it. It's the same thing with those of us who are in tune with the word, who read the word, who recognize the patterns. We can realize, oh, wait a minute. No, I know this. No, this ain't strange. I don't know. I can't tell you where this trail of toys ends from the front door, but I can tell you that it's leading somewhere. Okay, and that's how we have to be in this time. Like, no, we don't know the exact moment or the hour, but we know this is going somewhere. Birth pain. I have felt that way so many times. I know like the last few years, like especially with the pandemic and everything, that's how it felt. Like birth pains, like something big would happen and then it would calm down. Something big would happen and then it would calm down. That's exactly how I describe it to you. Thank you so much. And so I don't want y'all to feel like because I'm not addressing it that it's not acknowledged or that it does, you know what I'm saying? That I don't acknowledge it or that I don't feel like that it's a big deal. It definitely is a very big deal. It should be the biggest deal in your life. Okay. Not just on a spiritual level, but on a natural level as well, especially for my single sisters. Like, are y'all preparing? Do you have extra water in your house? Do you have extra food in your house? Are you able to, if everything's shut down for a few days, are you and the kids straight? That is what you need to be thinking about. And so what I'm saying is, like, I'm not about to sit up here and argue the sides of a war that has been going on for centuries, first of all, and secondly, that neither one of us are going to solve by sitting here arguing back and forth. Okay. We that know the truth know the truth. And so it's like if you were walking down a trail, okay, and the truth is your flashlight, are you not going to use your flashlight because the others around you aren't using it? Same thing with this example here. And this is, yeah, are you learning how to grow food? If you have the ability to have a chicken or two, get one. All right. People, listen, it's funny to me though, because I hear people complain about the price of eggs all the time and the price of food, and it's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy. And we got eggs here and we can't give them away. No, it's like, y'all want these eggs? Oh no, we're okay. No, we're good. Da, 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 da. It's food. People don't listen here. I'm telling you, y'all ain't gotta take them eggs. We'll keep them. I'll be egg, omelet, egg, whatever, frittata, whatever you can do with eggs, I will figure out how to do it. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. It's not I have an ear infection. I told y'all I have an ear infection, so please forgive me. Right. Nobody likes being in the dark, okay? But we're also scared to be the ones to bring the light. And hear what I'm saying, right? Because it's like, well, why would I be afraid to stand out among my friends? Because it's hard when it's really in you. It's hard. Like when the Most High has made you separate and made you to stand out, it is hard to stand among your peers when you don't fully understand. All right. And so I'm trying to prevent you from making some of the mistakes that I made by feeling like I had to dim who I was in order to make other people around me comfortable with how they live. And I want to tell you that it is not your responsibility. And in fact, it is to your detriment. All right. There are people right now who I grew up with, who I idolize. Well, not idolize, but admire. I admired these people. I was like, oh my gosh, they just must truly be highly favored of the Lord. And I want to be like them. This is, their goals and blah, 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 blah. And just to find out that no, it wasn't all that. Not to say it was bad, but it wasn't what I thought it was sitting from the seat that I was sitting in. Okay. But now that my seat has changed, I can see the truth. You know how this reminds me of a line from Clueless, if y'all haven't seen Clueless. But when Cher was talking about Amber, and she's like a painting in a museum. When you look at her far away, she's a masterpiece, but up close, she's a mess. And it's like that when you begin to allow the Most High to take you to the places that He wants for you to go. You'll be surprised at some of the people that you find yourself around in your different circumstance. Okay. And so in that you begin to see, or I have began to see, that a lot of the stuff that I used to feel like I was short in, no, it wasn't me. Like, no, let me assure you that when your heart is for the Most High, and that is the direction that you're willing to go in, a lot of times the stuff that you think is wrong with you, it's not wrong with you. You're just different. I I grew up struggling with that. Um and it's hard, and I don't like to reference Beyonce, but um if you've ever had a chance to listen to her mother talk about her childhood and how she was always picked on and how she was always bullied, it, it reminds me of my childhood, just constantly being picked on, constantly being bullied, constantly being like set apart, not of my own doing. Yanika, okay, I will text you and you can come and get some, please, child. It's like 10 dozen eggs sitting over here. Jacob, wake up, shalom and shalom. And you know what? I don't know why. Right? When I came from Germany and came to Atlanta, that's when it really started for me. And look at my hair, okay? Back in the 90s, there was nothing for this hair. Okay, and it was bigger and bushier. And I never forget when I first moved here, in that first spring, and my hair used to puff up really bad because there was no products. There was no Miss Jessie's. There was no Talia Wajid. all this stuff that we have now that we can go to the beauty store for natural hair, there was none of this. Okay. So you either had a perm and you was wearing weave, or you was just suffering like I was. And so literally when I would get off and on the school bus, the kids would sing the Chia Pet song, like literally call me a Chia Pet, right? And at the time, it was so, when I tell y'all, it was just so demoralizing because we had just came from Germany. Okay. I didn't know. I was scared to come to the States already. Okay. So then I get here and my first encounter is girls calling me a Chia Pet because my hair is, frizzy. It made it hard for me to, it makes it hard for you to accept yourself when you're being picked on for something that's not, it's not your fault. I couldn't help how my hair was. But the ridicule from that affected my self-esteem. It made me question every naturally occurring thing or thought that I had about myself, right? And so I'm saying this to y'all because even as adults, you may deal with these same issues. Listen, especially as a single mom. I tell y'all all the time, I was a single mom and now I'm a married mom. But I don't forget that struggle of being a single mom. It can be hard. It can be isolating. All right. And hear what I'm saying now, because I never want anybody to think that I condone single motherhood. We used to there's a church that I know of. And the pastor of this church justifies certain women being single mothers. I'm unless you were divorced, unless you were married and you are now divorced. I'm not trying to justify anybody being a single mom. So let me just say that. But what I am saying is, once you find yourself in a position of single motherhood and you have to take on that responsibility, you can it can feel like you're being bullied when you get out here and try to be social, try to start dating and stuff like that. And I just want to reassure y'all. Yes, you made a mistake. But you're not you're not thrown away because of your mistake. And I know that's how the world would have you to feel. But just like with anything else about us, just because let me stop. Single motherhood, that's not a good choice because again, that's a mistake. So that's not a good choice. But I'm trying to hone in the fact that even as adults, you can feel bullied. Okay. Even as adults, you can feel like you're being ostracized for trying to change. Like you're being singled out. Like you can feel like you're being singled out for doing the stuff that you thought that everybody was doing anyway. What do I mean by that? I mean, especially those of us who claim to be more enlightened. Especially those of us who claim to be more enlightened, okay? When we finally start to socialize with other people, other women who we may feel are enlightened also, and we just find out that their behaviors kind of don't match up with ours, that can be disappointing as well. Like I have other married friends around me, and I found out, thank you so much. I have found out that even though they are married and even though they claim to be happily married and even though these claim to be Bible believing women, that they do not put as much brevity. They don't take their husband as seriously. They don't take their marriages seriously. They don't take their children as seriously as I do mine, right? And so that can be disappointing because you're like, wait a minute, I thought we were all here, with the same beliefs. I thought we were all here with the same mind. But then you find out that no, everybody's mind isn't enlightened like yours. Everybody hasn't grown to the point that you've grown to. And so what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to change the way I treat my husband and my family just to make you comfortable with hanging out with me. What is going to happen is you're either going to step up and come up to the standard, or me and you can't be friends anymore. And I know you're probably like, well, dang, you still got to have this conversation at this big age of 40 something. Yes, at this big age of 40 something, I still have to have these conversations because whether it's a big age or a small age, sin and temptation is real. Sin and temptation is real. Y'all think them spirits don't jump from person to person and house to house? It tells you that the Bible tells you that, yes, you may be delivered of a thing, but if it comes back and there's nothing there, it's coming back and it's bringing 7 of his friends. So you may have dealt with the temptation for talking to a dude for a minute. And guess what? You keep hanging around these friends of yours and you see they still out here having extramarital conversations and, oh, I just have friends. You start to think that that is okay for you to do as well. And so now the next time that temptation comes to just have a conversation with another man, he bringing his friends, and next thing you know, you out on a date with this man, and now you're laying on your back counting ceiling tiles, trying to figure out how you're going to explain this to your husband. And the fact of the matter is, if you would have just stood your ground and not hid your light and not been afraid to be lonely, you wouldn't be going through this. A lot of the times we dim our light because we feel like, oh, I don't have any friends. Nobody wants to hang around me. Something must be wrong with me. When the very Bible that we claim to believe tells us that if we stand on the word of God, that if we belong to him, then the world is not going to accept us. So why do you find your loneliness strange? It didn't occur to me until we started to accept the truth of the Bible that 1/3 is not a lot of people. Think about a pizza. I have to use even numbers, okay? Think about a pizza with odd numbers. Think about a pizza with 9 slices. 1/3 of that is only 3. You still got 6 whole slices left. All right? So the population of, and it's so weird, right? Because you're talking about 1/3 of all people. So you're not even talking about 1/3 of the people around you. You're talking about 1/3 of people. Once you really start living this thing, you start to really see how small 1/3 is. It's small. Really small. And I think that's why a lot of us have problems finding people locally and we just kind of gang up online. I've met one wife so far in this truth that treats her husband with the utmost respect, like the most high commands. I haven't met you yet, Miss Mono. You'll be the second one I do. All praises. I hope you find more. Go make more. I rather stay to myself when it comes to stuff like that. There ain't no life to live. All those regrets when you could have been getting yourself together with the Most High. Listen to me. If I could come, regret is I don't know why people don't talk about living with their regrets more. I think it's really because they don't. I think it's because people don't sit down and reconcile that. I praise the Lord that I was able to, that I went through that time. And there are times that I still deal with regrets. And I talk to y'all about it all the time. Being able to be home with my boys all the time and be so active in your life. I regret not being able to do that with my daughters. And I have to live with that every day. Don't listen, I don't want y'all to think that like I'm just sitting here telling y'all this stuff and I'm just talking. No, I'm telling y'all what I live. I'm telling you what I live. And I don't hide away from these conversations with my children. I had to take my middle child somewhere. Me and her were talking, and she was telling me, she's like, you were sitting there hugging them, and I didn't want to see it because I don't remember that you didn't, have the time to do that with me. And she's right. And she has every right to voice that. And it is my responsibility because I can't go back and change the past. All I can do is sit and listen and do better in the future. Right? But until you deal with your regret every time it comes up, it's going to cause a negative reaction in you. Some of y'all are sitting up here depressed, sad, and confused about stuff that happened 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, and 20 years ago. Things that you can never go back and change. Things that no matter what cannot be undone. Oh, if only Einstein's theory of relativity were real and we could really travel back in time. But we cannot. All we can do is deal with the present and move better into the future. But I want y'all, like, if you don't deal with it, I feel like we've all seen people who don't deal with their regrets. Have you ever met a man, an older man, and he'll be on like his second or third wife? Let's take my biological father, for instance. Let's take him, for instance, okay? He's on his third wife. But he still will sit there and cry in regret about how he should have did right by my mama and how he should have did right by me and my brother and how this should have happened and how that should have happened. My father is a prostate cancer survivor, right? All praises for that. He survived prostate cancer. Unfortunately, he can't stop drowning himself in alcohol. And so now his liver is jacked up. Everything is jacked up. He just literally sits in the house all day and drinks and plays games. That's all he's doing. He won't get up and deal with his present. And I really believe that it's the weight of the past that he won't deal with. Is he depressed? Yes. Yes, he's depressed. Yes. Part of his depression is his regrets and not dealing with them and not trying to make them better, right? Because yes, I regret not being able to be home with my girls and not being able to be there every single moment for them. But you know what I do now? I'm there. I'm there. I'm there. Phone calls, visits, trips, whatever you want to do. And listen, I'm not saying I get it right. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I clock in every day to make the effort. But I feel like with people like my biological father and people who suffer like that, they can't push past the weight of the regret to show up and make the effort. And so are you doing that to yourself? Are you, and you know what that looks like for Black people? I always am reading about therapists and psychologists and how it's harder. Oh, baby, too bright. I always read about therapists and psychologists and how it's harder to get an assessment on Black people because our vernacular is different. The way we refer to situations may be different, right? So let's, break it down. Like, this holding on to regret often sounds like, ain't no good men out here. I don't need no man. I can do it all by myself. You don't really feel that way. You don't feel that way. You're just frustrated at the choices that you've made. You're frustrated at the choices that you've made. And instead of you resolving to change, instead of you resolving to make the improvements that you need to make, you let the weight of your regret keep you in one place. It's like that one baby mama that just can't let go. It's been 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 years, and she's still just stuck. You and him done got married, had kids, moved on, and she's still stuck. Or he's still stuck. Some of y'all got some baby fathers that's stuck right now. You done got married and moved on. But you can't have a decent conversation with this nigga because every time you try to talk to him, he's talking slick. And you're not about to disrespect my husband, so it's like quicksand. It's like quicksand. And it will keep you there for the rest of your life. What was I watching? I forgot what I was watching, but they were talking about when children get traumatized and how they're stuck at that age emotionally. A lot of us are stuck at the age of an emotional trauma. And unfortunately, because we start dabbling in sex early, some of y'all have been traumatized early, and you're out here with the body of a 20, 30, 40-year-old, but you're operating with the mind and mentality of a 15, 16, 17, 21, 25, however old you were when that man broke your heart. You're operating in that. You're operating at that level. You can't relate with the baby daddies. And so, are you ready to operate in the maturity that you need to get to the next level in your life? Are you ready to let go of some of those thoughts and some of those habits that are weighing you down? Are you ready to change some of those thought processes that will cause you to hide your light around those who need it? This is what I've said before, and I really feel it. People who know the Most High, people who know God, people who have a relationship with Him, we will hide that from the very people around us who need it, because we don't want to talk about our past and share our testimony. We don't want to face the embarrassment. But let me tell you something, please. Some of y'all are not going to get free until you learn how to move past the embarrassment. There are some things in my life that I would not sit here and say that I'm not ashamed. Yes, I'm ashamed that I did that. I should have never done that. But am I going to let it keep me bound and stop me from moving forward? No, I'm not. And because the Most High placed this call on my life to minister to other women, that means that as often as it comes up for me to share it with you, I'm going to share it with you, because not only am I helping to set you free, I'm helping to set myself free. I'm helping to set myself free. Every time I share this testimony, I get to remind myself of how far the Most High has brought me. I get to look back and see what a long, long way I have come from. So yes, me sharing my testimony is for you, but it is also for me. I refuse to let my embarrassment, my shame, I refuse to let that hold me back any longer. But that's what some of us keep doing. You're afraid to tell the truth about who your baby daddy is, about how it happened, about how you spent them 2-3 years in the strip club nobody know about how you was out here selling coochie for a couple of years and nobody knows about it, how you went sleeping with that married man and nobody knows about it. Until y'all are ready to have these deep conversations, then you're going to stay in the same place that you are. Until you are ready to tell your homegirls, nah, I'm not feeling that, I don't get down like that anymore, you're going to stay in the same place that you are. Until you're willing to stay home a couple of nights and deal with yourself. And I don't know why dealing with yourself, why being alone has gotten such a bad rap, but I'm here to tell you that it's some of the most wonderful time that you can spend with yourself. Nobody's saying you have to sit in a dark room with the lights off and read the Bible for 12 hours at night. No, like getting to know yourself is also spending time outside with your. I used to take myself out. If I wanted some back then, if I wanted some Red Lobster, okay, I would grab me a book and go to Red Lobster and sit down and eat and drink by myself. I didn't care. I would go to the movies by myself. And I know some people might feel like, oh my gosh, that's so weird to be out in public by yourself. But I feel like as a woman, that's something that you need to do. I feel like you need to do that to see what you really like, what you really want. A lot of times we get so caught up in being in a relationship that whatever our boyfriend likes or whatever our man likes, we immediately get into it. Like some of us are not into sports. Me, for one, I'm not into sports. I don't have to watch another football, baseball, basketball. I don't have to watch any of that ever again in my life, and I will be fine. Okay? Now, my husband enjoys sports. Of course, he's a man. He enjoys sports. If I was not secure in who I am and I didn't know myself and I was gullible, then now that I'm with him, all of a sudden my life is going to be about sports. I'm going to be the biggest Falcons fan ever. But that's a lie. I don't like sports. If I don't know myself, when it's time to go to the movies, I'm just going to let him pick whatever. Okay, whatever you like. I'm just happy to be here. Nah, man, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. And see, when you go into a relationship like that I'm just happy to be here gets old. And then you're going to want to start doing the things that you like to do. But guess what? You've been going along with his program for so long. When you start requesting other stuff, he's going to be looking at you like, who is you? Who is this? This is not who I was. This isn't who I fell in love with. But because you were trying to dim your light to fit in, to make yourself comfortable, because that's all you do when you're dimming your light. You're just trying to make yourself comfortable. And I have no qualms of saying that, because if you really understood the potential for the people around you that will come from shining your light, you would learn that their discomfort is only for their growth. My husband don't mind telling me the truth. Twofold. One fold, that's my husband. He is me. I am him. So when there's something going on with me, he does not look at it as just me. He look at it as something going on with him. So if I'm dealing with something And the solution is, if I have a splinter and I'm walking around, oh, everything hurts, everything hurts, everything hurts. My husband's going to try to come and find a problem, because if I'm hurting, he's hurting, right? But not only that, he doesn't want to see me in pain as an individual. He wants me to do better. So come here, let me get this splinter out your hand so we can continue. The problem with dimming your light is, not only are you not giving this person the opportunity to really choose you, because you're not giving him the opportunity to really know you. So he's not really choosing you. He's choosing what you put in front of him. And what you put in front of him is a go along to get along. I like everything. Whatever you like, that's what you put in front of him. This is what happens when you dim your light. You think you've been friends with these people for all this time, when the fact of the matter is, no, they've been friends with who you put in front of them. Yet the representative, exactly. I was watching something and they were talking about, they said, oh, well, you can't judge a book by its cover. And the person was like, well, you can if you read the inside flap, because the inside flap is a pretty good summary. Okay, so what some of y'all do is you'll show the cover, you'll dress the cover up, and you might even lie on the inside flap. What's the inside flap? That's like your conversations, your first date, right? When you pick up a paperback, the inside gives you a general summary of what to expect in the book, right? So when or the back of the book, right? So your inside flap or your back of the book is those first couple of conversations you're having on the phone when you're getting to know yourself, getting to know each other, or if you make it to the first date, that conversation, shaka boom, shalom and shalom, sis, thank you for joining me. That conversation is your inside flap. That's your back cover. All the things that you choose to tell a person about yourself, right? And so what some of y'all will do is, when you're on this first date and this man orders a chicken marsala, good and doggone well, you hate chicken marsala, but instead of you saying, you know what, I don't want that, I want the eggplant parmesan, you'll eat chicken marsala. And so you wind up staying with this man for 2, 5, 10, and 20 years, because every time he orders chicken marsala, you order chicken marsala. He's like, great, we're gonna get along forever. She liked chicken marsala too. And then one day you wake up and you're like, you know what, I don't like chicken marsala at all, as a matter of fact. In fact, I like eggplant parmesan. And now this man is feeling betrayed. He is feeling ostracized. He is like totally taken aback, because this whole time he thought he was with someone who liked chicken marsala as much as he did. And I'm oversimplifying it, but I need you to understand that we do this a lot in our lives. Okay? Now, and hear me, some of y'all might be like, well, you don't want to talk about you got to conform to your husband. Conform to your husband. But that doesn't mean that I don't have my own separate likes. I'm trying to think of something that I like that he doesn't like. Listen, there's stuff that I like that he don't like, and that's fine. That we're supposed to be different. Okay, you go do your thing, and guess what though? Sometimes when you love a person, you tolerate the thing that they don't like. Okay, like sorry, y'all. Now I don't even know what the hell chicken marsala is. You don't know what chicken marsala is? It's good. It's like a chicken with a white wine and lemon and some herbs. It's really delicious. It's an Italian dish. Thank you, Yanika. And so on a bigger scale, let's take it like this, right? You know that you have a relationship with the Most High. You know you're supposed to be following the laws and commandments. You're supposed to be observing your Sabbath. You're supposed to be dressing modestly. You're supposed to be keeping the dietary. You're supposed to be keeping your high holy days and your feast days. You've been lonely for a while. You've been lonely. It's been a year. It's been months. And you finally made you a friend. Let's say you made you a friend at work, right? So you and friends start hanging out. You're like, oh, she cool. You know, we can kick it, whatever. Y'all like the same music. You know, y'all can, whatever, walk around the mall, go to the movies, kick it, whatever. The whole time that you kicking it with friend never know that you a Bible believer. Friend don't know that your belief in God goes beyond the surface, you know, what do they call it? The Christian veneer that most of us put on. Friend never knows about any of this, right? So you and friend kicking it tough. One day, friend come to you. Oh, I heard this about the Bible. I heard that about the Bible. What, you know, what is this going on? Somebody told me such and such and such and such. And now you sitting there feeling like a dummy. Because you should have been the one to tell your friend about all this. And they had to hear it from a stranger. They had to hear it from some rando. And so how do you think that you look to friend now? Because I'm going to tell you, if I know that you had the answer to my problems this whole time and you just wasn't telling me, that's going to have me looking at you like, are you really my friend? What kind of friend watches their friend stumble in the darkness and does not offer them a light? What kind of friend watches their friend on the broad path to destruction and does not show them the route to the narrow righteous way? And here's what I'm not saying that you got to go around Bible thumping and everything else, but let your life be your testimony. Y'all won't even do that. It doesn't mean that you got to sit down and look at and have a deep conversation with everyone. Do you know the Lord? When's the last time? You know what I'm saying? You don't, it's not that. It's your life. It's your actions. It's how you conduct yourself. It's when everybody else walking around with their shirts up to their underboobs and they shorts up to their butt cracks. You're covered and dressed like you have some kind of sense. Right. Drop a nugget or two from time to time. Situations are going to come up. Think friends talk. Tell the truth about how you handle your life. When y'all get to boy talking and talking about this nigga that and that nigga this, tell the truth. Like, nah, I ain't even off that. Like, I'm waiting to find a man of God so I can get married. Right, that's our due. That's what we're supposed to. No, it is. That is what we're supposed to be doing anyway. Well, friends letting their kids go here and letting their kids go. No, we don't do that. We were at boxing and it was somebody's birthday and they were passing around a birthday card and I just politely said, no, we don't do birthdays. No big deal. But if you go, listen, how is anybody supposed to know that you got the answers, that you got that you got the sauce if you walking around like a chicken with the head cut off like everybody else? How am I supposed to know that you got the keys to the car? We all standing around the car, looking in our bags, looking in the car, looking on the floor, just walking around looking for the keys the whole time. You got your keys in your bag, but you too embarrassed. And I know you might be thinking like, oh, you're oversimplifying it in your examples. A lot of times it is something embarrassing. Okay, so what? Why? Listen, and hear me. I hate to be embarrassed. My husband will tell you, oh, that is, ooh. You want to violate me? Embarrass me. I hate to be embarrassed. Okay. So please understand, I'm not one of them people that's cold-hearted. I don't care what nobody say about me. No, I don't care, but I want people to love me. Like, no, I want people to feel like I'm a decent, godly woman. You understand what I'm saying? So when I say I don't care, I don't mean in that respect, but I don't care in the fact of when it comes to me choosing the way of the Most High versus you or what you think. Now, at this point, I don't care what you think. It's the Most High over everybody. So in that aspect, no, I don't care. And my child's not coming to your birthday party. We're not coming to your Christmases. And please understand what I'm saying. Y'all that don't live this life think like, oh, you're just not celebrating the holidays to be difficult. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I'm a holiday person. My birthday is in November, okay? And my birthday is November 20th. Thanksgiving is usually 7 days or so away from my birthday. Then there's Christmas. Then there's New Year's. Trust me, that was my time of year. Last year I struggled. Okay. So I'm not saying that to say like, oh yeah, it's nothing. No, yes, it is a struggle. There are some things you're going to struggle with. Absolutely. My family talks about it all the time. All the time. Oh, yeah, it ain't that serious. It ain't that deep. No, it's not for you. And that is why broad is the way to destruction, because it's not that deep for you. But you know what's going to happen? When it really comes time to look for the answers, they're going to be looking for the people that weren't there when everybody else was there. What do I mean by that? When the party and the debauchery and the reveling is going on and reality strikes someone, or they feel the Most High tugging at them, they not looking around to see who's at the party for answers, because all y'all up in here doing the same thing I'm doing. They're looking for the person that's not there. They're looking for the person that used to be there and is not there anymore. That's who they looking for, because what they got going on? They seem happy over there. What do they have that I don't have? What they got that I don't have? What do they have that I'm missing? What do they have that I need? Because listen, I say it all the time. You never believe anything totally that everybody says. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only person who I would stand here in front of you all and say, yes, I agree with everything this person says, is my husband. That's the only person, the only earthly being that you will ever hear me say that about. But there are people who are living a life that you would not mind emulating in certain areas. I'm not saying everything about them is great. Okay, like there's a lady that I follow on Instagram. She's local. She gardens. I love her garden stuff. I don't know anything else about this woman's life. I don't care to. All I know is her garden is beautiful and I love her for that. And I want to follow in that. Okay. You may have someone around you who is married and you love the way that her and her husband carry on. That is who you want to be around to figure out how to have a good marriage. You may have someone, if you know you're into your career, you're single or whatever, you may have someone who you admire on your job. Then you go to them for that, okay? But so, and like life in general, I know, you may know someone who, my husband is great with finances. He handles the finances. You understand what I'm saying? Certain people are going to have certain strengths. Your light. Okay. People need to see your light. If they don't know this about you, then how could they come to you? Like if I was sitting here doing why Boaz don't want your ass without the YouTube, then who am I talking to? You understand? Like what good are my words if no one is hearing them? What good is your example if you're not willing to set it in front of others? When you out with your friends and your husband calls, that's your time to set the example, answering the phone. Hey, babe, how you doing? Talking respectably to your husband, even if he's like, yo, I want you to come home. All right, y'all, well, I gotta go. I remember when Tiny and Toya was on TV and T.I. was out on bond or house arrest or something like that. Multiple times he would call her and be like, I want you to come home. And she'd be like, all right, y'all, I gotta go. And she would go home to her man. And here's what's funny, little sidebar. We see that, okay? We see that. You ain't never heard Tiny talking about having to pay a bill. As a matter of fact, I just saw an interview where T.I. was talking about, no, she don't pay for nothing. I would never let her pay for anything. But then you got freaking women like Gabrielle Union out here complaining because she got to split the bills 50-50 with her man or with her person because she wear the pants in that relationship. Listen, look, you ain't got to tell me twice how to come in. My man said I got to go home, y'all. Bye. Multiple times it happened in that show. And every time her girls would complain. But guess what them girls was doing when the party was over? They was back at home by themselves, lonely, trying to figure out how to pay them bills and everything else. She chose to go 50-50. I don't know any woman that's choosing to go 50-50. I then again, she also dresses her son like a girl, so I can't comment on that mindset. All I'm saying is you see the woman that was obedient to her man and how she living, right? She ain't worried about nothing and nobody, so. Shalom and shalom, the Light Hebrew Magazine was up. This is Delta. Okay, but so people need that example. People need to be able to see that. Do we agree with everything Tiny does? Absolutely not. But when it comes to the display of being a good wife, she got that part on lock. She got that on. You can't deny that. You understand what I'm saying? But some of us are so afraid of what our friends would say. Like some of y'all would be so afraid that your friends would start punking you and calling you a pick-me and calling you this and calling you that you just won't do it. You know what I'm saying? You just won't do it. Right. Toya's married now. Monica too worried about Steve murder. Monica was married too. And she's not whatever. No, she said it. She didn't want him to have control over her. Did a whole interview. And this, but that's what I'm saying. Like her mind is off. Her mind is off. Because when does a man paying your bills equate to him having control over you? And let's get into that. What is wrong with control? What is wrong with control? We have been so brainwashed with this toxic masculinity bullcrap that a man having control over his family and his life is wrong. So the man just supposed to be out here, no idea what's going on. Woman and kids running the streets all willy-nilly, doing whatever they want. That's not right. That's not. That is not someone who wants to be in a union. You don't want to be one with a person if that's your mindset. Because my husband could have that same mindset about when he wants to go out. Now, my husband's a grown man. Okay? I mean, he has the ability to come and go as he pleases. And I'm not saying that he calls me every time that he makes a move, but if he's here and he's leaving, yeah, he's going to call and let me know. If I'm not here, he's going to call and see where I'm at. If we're separated from each other for long, we're calling each other like, hey, how you doing? You all right? I'm just checking on you. Some people would take that as control. But baby, if my man is not concerned about where I'm at, then I'm convinced that he don't love me. It's not that she didn't want to be controlled. She didn't want to submit. That's what it is. She didn't want the man to have no say-so in her life. That's what the problem is. They just don't know what a great man is. They don't. They can't know what a good man is, because who out here trying to pay bills? What woman has a man come to her and say, baby, it's okay, I got it, you can just stay here, raise the kids, whatever, and says, no, it's okay, I want to go out here in the world. Child, please. I'm going to sit here and educate my kids, and I'm going to have a hot plate on the table for you when you get here. Ain't nobody going through all that. When times come, I'm ready for that righteous control. Hello? Yes, you need that to keep in order. You need to know where each other at all times. Not to mention just the day and time that we live in. And let's, you see, y'all done got me off on it. Because I hate the stigma that comes with the thought of a man having order over his household. Y'all see, the word control has been like demonized, just like the word submission has been demonized. And so we just need to kill that whole notion, like that whole thing. Like, nothing wrong with a woman having to help, but to say, no, you can't take care of me is crazy. No, if you have to help, then absolutely. No. If you have to help, then do your thing. I worked when we first got married. And if I had to, listen, I was printing shirts today, okay? So no, by all means, do what you got to do. But to say, no, you can't take care of me, that is beyond crazy. That is freaking wild. That is wild to me. I will never understand it. Where is the freaking boo sound? Because I don't even know where I need to learn my board. I have no idea where the sound is, but okay, one of them, because that is beyond. It's a turn on to me, baby. You're not weird. It's a turn on to me too. Listen, I was talking to my husband about this the other day. I don't understand this feminist agenda. If it's done nothing but hurt women. The fact that when we are suffering for those 7 days out of the month, actually we suffer for 3 weeks out of the month. If you want to be clear about it, it's 3 weeks where your hormones are just off the chain, okay? But that particular week, when we're supposed to be separated from everyone, who ruined that? Who messed that up? I would love to be able to go get a room at the Sheraton and suffer alone. Who decided that women are just, this is what I get mad at when I see pregnant women out here doing stuff. That really pisses me off, because it's like, listen here, Hulk, okay? You've got to understand that the example that you're setting is dangerous for other women. And so you have these feminists out here proclaiming that women are just as equal and we can do anything, even when we're on our periods, even when we're pregnant. But now you have women who have high-risk pregnancies and can't keep a job because they've been so convinced that pregnant women can do anything that a man can do no matter what. And now we have, you can't get time off. There's no FMLA because women can do anything men can do. So why do you need to stay home with the baby? Oh, we can do anything men can do. So all we need is 6 weeks. And some of y'all don't even take 6 weeks. I've seen women go back to work 2 weeks, 3 weeks after giving birth. What is wrong with you? You're messing it up for everybody else. And that is why I have no problems not being a part of this modern womanhood, this feminist sisterhood or none of. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not lifting anything. No, I'm not going to war. No, I don't want to get up and go to work every day. No, I don't want to be equal. I do not. I don't want to be equal. Listen, you know how I don't want to be equal? Because on any given day, if you walk in this house, if you walk in my house at 8:00 at night, let's say 8:00, I am done for the day. We did school, we did boxing, I worked out, I cooked, I cleaned, I'm done for the day. 8:00, I'm done. 8:00, I'm trying to get in the bathtub. End of my day. My husband is still going and will be still going for hours. I don't want to do that. I want to be in my bathtub at 8:00. I do not want to be. I do not want to still be. I don't want to still be working. Okay. I don't. Once you've had a real man in your life to show you what a real man is and what a real man is supposed to do, you realize that you've been playing life this whole time. Like, oh, I was playing games. Oh, I thought I was independent out here. I thought I was out here making it happen. No, ma'am, sis, cousin, let me tell you something, okay? When you get a man who cares about your total development, your spiritual, your mental, your emotional, it's just one of those things that you have to live to get it. Look, y'all booing and everything. That's how I feel too. Boo that woman. She's off. Gabrielle, come on now. Ovulation, horrible time. Horrible time. I've talked to y'all about ovulation. You stay away from men during ovulation. No dates during ovulation. We are not dating at that time. And you know when it's happening because when you feel that surge in desire, when you feel like you hear his voice on the phone and you just start to melt, no dates. I'll see you next week. You ain't got to listen to me, but you can just keep being a single mom, single baby mom, jump off, whatever you want to be. I'm just telling you. Yes, the Hulk. Because that's how they be looking out here all strong and stuff. Like, what is wrong with you? Lifting Hollywood. I can do anything a man can do, even when I'm pregnant. Girl, shut up. I don't want a man's responsibility. I don't either. I can't figure nothing out. I don't know how to change no oil in no car. None of that. Nothing. Is anyone grossed out about those rings further down below? Which one are you talking about? The cup? Are you talking about the ring or the cup? Because I used the ring before. It's not that bad. The cup is, I would not advise that. It's messy. 8:00, I'm in my pajamas or roll with my bonnet on. Thanks. Like, I'm trying to see if go to TV and go to bed. I don't see the purpose of them. I can't talk about that right now. But so I really just want y'all to just stop and think, like, just reevaluate and think about, like, in what ways are you hiding your light? Like, in what ways are you not living up to the potential that the Most High has put in your life? And again, I'm not saying that you got to walk around. I'm not saying you got to go get a whole burqa and a hijab and cover your face. No, it does not need to be anything as radical as that. It could just be anything like a change in your attitude. And people can see that gradual improvement in your attitude. And here's what we don't know. Well, I don't want to say we don't know, but we don't realize it's like once you start to change your attitude, a lot of other things in your life change, okay? Some of y'all may be feeling out of control. You may be feeling like you have no control over anything in your life. Start exercising. If you are not, start exercising. And from personal experience, it has helped me. It helped when I started getting the discipline to make myself exercise, even when I didn't want to. It strengthened me in a way, because it made me realize, oh, I can be disciplined. I can do these things. I can make a decision to show up for myself in this way every day. And yes, it's hard at first, but once you start to grasp that there's something in your control that you can do well, it will start to spread to other areas of your life. Trust me. ATL 1482. How do we give a tip? This is my favorite question. If you like what we got going on here at the House of Mono or something I'm saying, please head over to the Cash App, $ the House of Mono. $1 or $2 will do. 20, 50, 100, whatever you got. I'm not making no demands, please, y'all. This is not a prophecy line. I was just saying, you have not because you asked not. So I was just asking. Don't come for me talk about, oh, she offering prophecies for money. That's not what I'm doing, and none of that around here. I've thought about exercising again, but I'm already little. It doesn't have anything to do with your size. You can do strength. You can tone up. You can strengthen yourself. Exercise isn't about size unless you need it for that. It's about it really is about your mental health. And I read that exercise is the best form of hormone control. Okay, so it is about your mental health. It's about your whole body health. It's not just about your looks. It really is about your whole body health. Some of them ask, they have for them women talking about nah. Yeah, that I want to be toned up. Yeah, so exercise will help you get toned. It really will. If you have access to Apple Fitness, that's what I use. I use my little Apple Fitness. There's another app, Just Fit Lazy Girl Workout. That's a good one. And so the thing I like about these apps is it shows you the exercise. It gives you the timer. It's good. It gives you rewards. Like, I'm a little ADHD in the brain, so things have to be like a game for me. Like, it has to be, you know what I mean, interactive. So I like it because it does all that. So what I'm saying is, you know how maybe you didn't, but I know I have in a few times in my life when I just felt like things were out of control, I would just go and cut off all my hair. I did that like 3 times. Don't ask me why. It wasn't necessarily helpful. It was just a thing of, this is something I can control in my life, so let me do something with it. But I found other ways to do that. Okay, exercising every day helps me with that. Having to go out there and take care of those chickens helps me with that. That's a responsibility. Somebody is looking for me somewhere. I realize I'm a person that needs structure and routine. I have to know that someone is expecting me somewhere at a certain time, right? And I don't know if my husband realizes this or not, but I told him the other day, like, going to boxing with the boys helps me, because I know I have to be somewhere at a certain time. People are going to be expecting me. So now I need to schedule everything else to make sure I'm there for that. I don't know if this came from growing up as like a military child or what, but like, I need structure. I need to be responsible to someone for something to give me some kind of routine, right? And look, this is just stuff that I just had to learn about myself. And I'm advising you all to figure the same things about yourself. This is going to help you, especially as you get older and your hormones start doing things to your body that you have no control what the heck is going on, or how to fix it or anything like that. Ladies, as we are getting older, these kinds of things will help. Getting a routine, exercising, squats, deadlifts. I love weight training. Like that stuff is good. Pilates, love Pilates. Yeah, are you still using that's right? You think I did give it to you. Are you still using it? I've definitely cut my hair. Last time I did was 2017, and then a year after I locked my hair. Okay. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. Listen, I'm always late. Now punctuality has never really been my strong suit. I'm getting a little bit better. I'm trying. I am trying. But yeah, I just want y'all to understand that what God has put in you is for you and it's for the people around you. I don't remember what we were talking about, but I remember my husband and I, when we were dating, he was telling me something. I forgot what he was telling me. And I said, I would hate for everyone else to benefit from the gifts that God gave you, but you. And I'll be having to say that to myself sometimes. And what I mean by that is, listen, when it's on you to minister the word of God, you're going to do it whether you want to or not. Okay. And this is just something that I had to accept in my life, right? If that's your purpose in life, that's your purpose in life. That's what's going to happen. So now you can mess around, F around and find out, and end up in prison for life, ministering to people who are going to take that word, the same word that the Most High had gave you. They're going to take that word, get out of prison, turn their life around, and be living their best life while you stuck in prison. Because the word is going to do what it was set out to do. His word will not come back to him void. And listen, I used to hate hearing this growing up. It seemed like every opportunity somebody got, they was always telling me, you gonna preach the gospel no matter what. You gonna preach the gospel no matter what. And you know, as a youngster, it's hard to accept this because you're like, well, what if that's not what I want to do with my life? But when you grow up, you realize like, this is just what I'm gonna do with my life. It is up to you and what conditions you get to do this in. What do I mean by that? Listen, it's up to you. If you want to be preaching in a prison cell, it's up to you. If you want to be preaching from a corner in the projects, it's up to you. If you want to establish yourself and be doing a podcast in the first floor of your home, it's totally up to you how you get to disseminate the information. But disseminating the information is going to happen and it's going to come from your body, whether you want it to or not. So you can choose to do it healthy, beautiful, full of life and vitality, or you can wait until some tragedy occurs and now you're doing it out of sorrow, repent, regret. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It needs to be on a shirt. Don't play. We'll make it a shirt. We will make it a shirt. They used to say you're going to do it whether you're standing on the corner or laying on your... One thing I don't like about true crime shows, especially like shows like My True Crime. There's a what's it called, My True Crime or something like that. It's on BET, Remy Ma hosted, or even the show they was doing about American Gangsters when they were doing the women. I don't like these shows because I feel like it is still romanticizing the crime, right? Because you're talking to these people after they're out of jail, they come to the interview all blinged up. Nobody is on there saying like, oh, my life has been horrible since I got out of jail. I haven't been able to get a job. My life is in ruins. My family disowned me. Everything is in shambles, right? Nobody's on those shows saying that. It's never a horrible testimony. It's always, I did my crime, I did my time, and now life is good. And this is why I don't like that, because I feel like it's still giving impressionable people, and I'm not just going to say young people, because people my age and older are still impressionable, as social media will tell you. So it's giving impressionable people the idea that, oh, I can do my crime, spend a few years in jail, and come out and live as fly as I want to. And so again, like I tell people when I tell my testimonies, don't take other people's grace for granted. Right? A lot of times what we do in life, like our foreparents, right? The Most High will send us on a journey. He'll be like, hey, babe, listen, I got this husband for you. I got this life for you, this ministry for you, this family for you. I have all these things for you, right? But I need you to just go through a few things first to learn a few lessons to get there. Right? Just like the promised land, like, oh, I got this land for y'all filled with milk and honey. Right? I just need y'all to take a little trip. It's just a little trip to get there. Now, listen, you're going to encounter some things on your trip, right? But don't get distracted by those things. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Do not get caught up in those things. Do not do the things that these people do. Do not worship their gods. Do not go after their idols. Keep it moving to the place that I have promised you. And what do? Like our foreparents, we run into these people along this journey, and we know we're not at our final destination, but what do? We do what these people do. We worship their gods. We follow their idols. We give our daughters to their sons. We give ourselves to their sons. And then a journey that was only supposed to take you 5 years is now possibly derailed because you just had to lay up with this nigga and now your life is ruined. And yes, I'm going to say derailed. Derailed, because again, all grace is not the same. Do you not remember that there was an entire generation that had to die off in the desert? You think that you just got the grace and you gonna make it over with Joshua and Caleb and them, huh? No, you forgot about the people that had to die, and that could be you. We always mess up trying to make lifetime arrangements with people who we were never supposed to even be dealing with. Now, I'm not even talking about temporary people. A lot of people like to say that, oh, that person is just temporary. No, let's talk about the fact that this person wasn't supposed to be in your life at all. This was just supposed to be a high and a bye, and that's it. Now here you are 10, 20 years later arguing with this knucklehead because he won't help you take care of a kid. And so some of y'all won't even make it to the promised land because you're so caught up on that regret that you let weigh you down. So because this one man did you bad, you have no patience, no nothing for the man who's supposed to come to you. So now when this man comes to you, correct, you're so weighed down with the regret from your mistake that you're not even interested. You won't even see it. You won't even give him a chance. Did daddy get you dressed to come in here? So he made you match your hat and your shirt? Oh my gosh. Little monologue, everybody. So listen, stop hiding your light. Don't be afraid to stand out. Why do you want to be like, see, here's what I don't understand, right? You'll look at people who you feel like are different, who you feel like are not the same, like, oh, they're so special. I want what they have. But you're not willing to do special things. You're not willing to do different things. You're not willing to do what it takes to stand out. You're not willing to say, no, I'm not interested in that. No, you can't come to my house. No, if you can't take me out on a respectable date, then I don't have anything for you. No, I'm not paying for nothing. I told y'all when we arranged the date, oh, what should I bring? If he say anything other than my pretty smile, then oh, sorry, I got something else to do. I'm not interested. You're scared to stand up for yourself. You are scared. You're scared to do what it takes to keep feeding your own fire. And what I'm telling you, feed your fire, okay? Because guess what? By you not doing it, you're only hurting yourself. The people that the Most High wants to reach, he's going to reach them. He's going to reach them. He can use you to reach him. Boy, it's hot in here. He can use you to reach him. He can use somebody else to reach him. But guess what? Not only now is that blood on your hands, right? Because that was your assignment, and you didn't warn the people. So now that blood is on your hands. And now you got to watch somebody else live out your reward for obedience. You got to watch somebody else in your dream house, your dream car with your dream family because you won't be obedient. Aren't you tired of that? Aren't you tired of going in the same circles over and over again, doing the same stuff, falling from the same dudes, being victim to the same game? Aren't you tired of that? The only way you're going to change that is when you change your mind and decide, I'm going to follow through with what the Most High has for me. Next week, we're going to talk about why y'all scared of losing people. Because that's what it is. You're scared to be alone and you're scared to lose people. And you're just so desperate for any kind of attention or any kind of affection that you'll just accept anything from anyone. I tell y'all about our dogs all the time. When them dogs is in heat, they don't care. They will hunch anything. And some of y'all act like that. You feel a little lonely. You don't care. You'll hunch anything. And listen, it's getting cold outside, y'all. It's October. Don't let your loneliness cause you to end up with a permanent non-paying house guest. Don't let your loneliness cause you to end up with a nigga that's looking at you and expecting you to pay half the bills or all the bills. Right?
Yep.
Ain't a man supposed to pay the bills? Yep, all of them, right?
Yep.
Are you just playing with your head?
I don't want to wear This girl's wearing my hat.
This girl's wearing, I'm a girl now. This girl wearing your hat. I hope something. Huh?
It was when I was doing a jump flip and then I went away.
I told you to stop flipping. I hope something I said was helpful to you on today, whether you are joining us live or you are listening on the replay. I had so much fun with you guys. I'm going to go upstairs and nurse this ear infection. There's really nothing to do. I already did the peroxide for it. Just gotta wait for the pain to go away, I guess. Thank you so much for kicking it with me this evening. I do not know. Sabbath Night Live, honey. I don't know. I only got a minute. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't want to promise anything because I know we've been working a lot. But if you don't see us tomorrow, you will see Monologue McGad on Tuesday with Talk About It Tuesdays, Thursday at 9 o'clock with Bible study. I know he wasn't here this week. I promise y'all we're going to get it together. He's going to be here next week. And then again, 8 o'clock with me, Why Boaz Don't Want Your Ass, again next Thursday. All right, again, if you like anything that was said or you just want to contribute to what we got going on here at the House of Mono, Cash App $, the House of Mono. We want to thank you in advance and thank those who have given in the past. If you want to meet me in these content creation streets, you can follow me at Miss Mono's World, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Anything else? Don't forget to follow the head of my household at Monologue McGad. You can album, stream the album, Let the OG Talk on all of your streaming platforms. Be on the lookout for new visuals. If you're not already subscribed to Monologue McGad at YouTube, you can catch up to old podcast episodes, visuals, past and current, and just keep up with everything that's going on over here. Shout out to my audience on the Saya TV. Thank you for hanging out with me this evening. Yanika, hit me up for those eggs. Is that it? Say shalom and shalom. You're not gonna say bye? Shalom and shalom. We love you. Good night. My kids are learning German. I don't know why they started learning. What is he doing? Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. Love you guys. Good night.
You could have took a bunch of dusty rolls. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's